All right, I think we are live. Who can know for sure? Is my phone up? Oh, we are live. We got Thomas Walker in the building, a very great supporter of the channel. Thank you so much for showing up. Let's see if this worked. Bam! I'm learning how to do this. I got some likes too. Thank you guys so much. Let me see if I can, we're gonna have some fun today, guys. If I can ever figure out, is that right? Start like that, and do that. Okay, listen, my first live stream was yesterday, so this is number two. This is number two, but this is gonna be a good one. Oh, look at this. We got King of Spades in the building. He represented hard yesterday. Yeah, thank you so much for showing up. Who else we got? Joe C. Joe C, the first, my very first viewer on my very first live stream. That was yesterday. So that is... Thomas, you're killing me. You're killing me. Thomas in with the super chat. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much, brother. Already, Thomas is the man. Always a supporter of the channel, of the lead attorney. I appreciate that. We're gonna have some fun, guys. Thank you again, Thomas. Who else we got here? We got Cannon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I don't know if you've ever heard of me. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of me, but I am a top divorce attorney down here in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're going to talk about a lot of things today. I'm going to take a lot of questions. If you have questions, just let me know. We are also going to talk about child support. And we're probably going to touch on a little bit of this stimulus, too. A lot of people... Thomas! Thomas, you're killing me.
Jesus Christ.
You're killing me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, brother. Thomas is the man. The man. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Thomas. You are too good to the lead attorney. We're going to answer some child support questions. We are going to answer some stimulus questions. I got a lot of those. I got a lot of those yesterday. And so we're going to talk about that as well. I got my little... That is not looking like I wanted to. We're going to figure all this stuff out, guys. Just give me one. I'm not going to fiddle with that right now. What do we have here? I don't know what we're doing. We're going to figure it out. All right, who else we got? We got I Know Myself. Yesterday's. I guess you were here for yesterday's chat. Oh, there we go. Yesterday's was good. Thank you. It was my very first one. I Know Myself. So we're gonna try to figure it out. We're gonna figure this stuff out together. Energy. I remember Energy, supporter of the channel. He used to comment. He's dropped a few comments on the videos. I definitely appreciate that. Who else we got? Stephanie from LA. From LA. La Raza, right? Are you Hispanic, Stephanie? Oropesa. I would think so. I would think so. You got the what is that? A graduation gown on. Stephanie over there getting her education on. From LA. Yo también hablo español, si no sabía. I took Spanish in the 11th grade too. Ya ves? Pa que sepan. Hey, I'm the lead attorney for multiple reasons, guys. I got skills. Who we got? LaShawn. LaShawn in the house. She was here yesterday. Showed up. Blowed everybody out the water with her situation. She is doing fantastic. Oh, look who we got. Look who we got. Esteban. Look who we got.
Jesus Christ.
We got Esteban in the house. A great supporter. A great supporter of the channel, Esteban Ferreira. Thank you for showing up, Esteban. This is my second live. So we're going to figure out what's going on. If you guys have got any questions, y'all can drop those in the chat. And I'm going to start off a little bit by just talking about what we got going on with the... Thomas has been there from the beginning. Been rocking with you for almost a year, big brother. That's what I love. Man, Thomas is not going to slip up. The whole reason I made this channel, guys, is for two reasons. Number one, really to expose the injustices that are out there in the family law system. But number two, the vast majority of men who get caught up in these, in this system, in these injustices, they only get caught up in it because they are uninformed. No one told them about what was coming down the road. Their fathers didn't tell them about it. Their uncles didn't tell them about it. So these men have had to figure things out for themselves. And whenever you figure something out for yourself, you learn it, but you learn it the hard way. What do they say? They say a smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. And I have seen thousands of mistakes. I've been doing this for about 20 years, guys. So to see something like this, to see Thomas say, hey, man, I've been with you for a year. Now, I know being with me a year means probably only looking at 17, 18 videos. I need to get more up. It's difficult to try to do all this stuff. I'm teaching myself this stuff, so it's a little hard. But Thomas is getting this information, and he's not gonna trip up. And that's what I love. Just, you young guys, man, just take this information in. It's free. You don't have to pay $1. I got it. Even though Thomas is coming in with the super chats, and I'm so appreciative. But believe me, it's not necessary. I do appreciate it though, but it's not necessary. I just want you guys to know what's out there because it's so tough. MKC, love your channel from Overland Park, KS. KS, is that Kansas? Kansas? I don't really know much about geography. Ow! Man, I gotta figure out a way to do, I gotta figure out a way to invite people on here because you guys need to listen to Al's story. It is so, it's so common and at the same time just so unjust. When a man has children and is fighting just to get custody of them, and they put you through the ringer with this child support, and one slip up, now you owe back child support, and then they put interest on it to make it harder for you to get out. And then they suspend your license. So how are you supposed to get to work? Lose your job. And then, they're threatening you with jail. It adds up. And it all starts from the fact, listen, we're going to be honest over here. And I want everybody, I don't want it just to be me. I want this to be a conversation, but I want to express my opinion on these things. And I'm going to tell you the truth. It's not going to be any sugarcoating. It's not going to be any political correctness. But what I truly believe, here's what I believe. How many people we got on the chat? We're still 19, so we can just still talk. Here's what I believe. I believe that child support should not exist. Should not exist in the vast majority of cases. You say, well, lead attorney, damn, that's pretty unfair to the moms, isn't it? No. No, and here's why. Here's what I think. I think that when let's say there's an 8-year-old and a husband and wife, when they go into divorce court, the judge should start out saying, we're doing 50-50. Mom from Sunday to Sunday, dad from Sunday to Sunday. You're just going to alternate, or you're going to do a 5-3-3-5, whatever type of plan you're going to do. It's going to be 50-50 joint custody, 50-50 physical custody. Mom's going to pay for the things that the 8-year-old needs when the 8-year-old's with mom. Dad's going to pay for the things that the 8-year-old needs with the dad. And if the dad shows up and says, well, I've got a job. I don't know how I'm supposed to do. Listen, the moms do it. Like, judges should not take any crap from guys. This is your child. You're going to spend half of your time with this child, just like the mom. No one's getting away free. When the child is with you, you're going to go to restaurants. You're going to go to Chuck E. Cheese. You're going to go to the barbershop. You're going to buy the shoes. You're going to buy the coats. 50-50. Now, what if the guy says, well, I'm a pilot, and sometimes I'm in Afghanistan, sometimes I'm in China, sometimes I'm in Switzerland. I can't have physical. Well, fine. Then, if you are saying as a man that you are unwilling to do what the mother is doing, to assume these responsibilities, then there should be some child support. Absolutely. But the problem is so many men get stuck with child support because they weren't given the opportunity to parent like the mom in the first place. They were given visitation of their own children. And then the moms come back and they have a problem with the child support system. Number one, you shouldn't even be getting it, right? Usually. I'm not saying it should be 50-50 in every case, because there are women who are bad parents. There are men who are bad parents. Sometimes what I see in juvenile court is you'll have a mom and a dad and they're both bad parents. Now the grandparents are in here trying to take these kids, right? So there's not going to be one solution for every case, but you need a starting point. And the starting point should be 50-50 custody, legal and physical, no child support. And then if you want to make arguments as to why it shouldn't be 50-50, start from there. Usually a man has to make arguments as to why it should be 50-50 in the first place. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's how I feel. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's how I feel. There's no reason that mothers should be stuck. Somebody wrote a comment, some woman wrote a comment on my chat the other day talking about, oh, the mom has to buy all the clothes and buy all the shoes and take the child to the dentist all the time and take the child to the doctor all the time. She has to do so much. She has to take off work. She has to do this. She has to do that. I have a question though. When she went to court, did she ask for the father to get 50-50 custody? She took the legal custody. She took the physical custody. She took the child support, and now she wants to complain. I want to hear women complaining about the fact that they offered 50-50 custody in court and the man didn't take it. Then you have a right to complain. Then you have the right to call a man a deadbeat, or whatever you want to call him. But if you didn't offer that man 50-50 custody in the beginning, you say, well, I don't think he was a great father. Well, if you got a first child, you're not a great mother either. You had to learn. Men have to learn too. Everybody has to learn how to raise a child. You can get on Google. You can Google whatever you want. You can go to the library. You can get on Kindle. You can download whatever books you want. You are not prepared for that first child. You got to learn. Mothers have to learn. Fathers have to learn too. That's how I feel. So don't get me on a soapbox. I've been doing this for 20 years, man. I got a lot of opinions. All right, who we got? How do y'all feel about it? All right, we got LaShawn Esteban, my man Esteban. God, I can't keep up with this. Oh, we got my man Chicago. We got my man Chicago Ryder in the house with the super chat. Thank you. That's going to get me 2 coffees right there. The GOAT is back from Chicago Ryder. I was an English major. I don't know if you're a writer, Chicago Ryder. I was an English major. Stephanie, la raza, mira nada más. I love you guys. What part of Mexico are you from? Who we got? Energy, ATL, yes sir. ATL, born and raised. Oh, we got OJ. We got Olajuwon in the house. We had a famous Olajuwon in Atlanta. He was he would let you know you tried to score on our Hawks. He was right there. All right. Can child support stop if someone is experiencing child alienation? This is a good question. Y'all start with the questions, because, man, don't let me rant. I've seen so much. I've got so many opinions. I want to hear y'all's opinions, too. All right, this is a great question from Olajuwon. Can child support stop if someone is experiencing child alienation? First of all, what is child alienation? Child alienation is when I'm a father and hopefully I'm living with my child half the time, but I don't like the mom because the reason that we divorced was because she cheated on me. So I tell the son, your mom's a this, son's 8 years old, right? Your mom cheated on me. Your mom abandoned us. Your mom didn't care about the family. She didn't care about you. She didn't care about a happy home for you. Your mom is loose. She's the S word. She's the W word. She's the P word. She's the B word. Now, this 8-year-old's mind is all it is a sponge. There's nothing in it. He's 8, right? So I'm feeding him all this negative information. And you see it, Lord knows, you see it on the other side too. Mama's telling their sons that their daddies ain't nothing, right? Their daddies ain't this and their daddies ain't that. The same daddies that they chose, by the way. The same daddies that they chose. Now, all of a sudden, the daddies ain't nothing. Well, 8 years old, that child's like, yeah, my daddy isn't anything. My dad is a piece of this and a piece of that. And so now when dad shows up for his visitation, that 8 years old's like, you know what? I don't even want to go. I don't even want to talk to you anymore. And dad doesn't want to put his hands on the 8-year-old and put him in the car. So now there's a problem, right? That's parental alienation. And it can come out where the child absolutely 100% hates the father. Hates the father with a passion, his own father, because of what the mother told him. It could be that some of the stuff that the mother told him was actually true. But it's not a child's place to know it, right? No matter what her situation was with that man, if he's a good father, or even if he's a mediocre father, neither party should be talking bad about the other party in front of the children, no matter what they did. But it happens. Children are used as pawns. Children are used to hurt one parent or another. So what can happen is your child doesn't even want to see you, but you still have to pay that child support every month, right? So that's what Elijah 1 is asking. If my child hates me now because of what the mother said, do I have to continue to pay child support? The answer is yes. Absolutely. You still got to pay. Now, what's the solution? The solution is to go to court and tell the judge what is going on. Judges give mothers a lot of slack in family court, a lot of slack, because judges also have been doing this 15, 20, 25, 30 years. They've seen a lot of things. So you say, oh, my ex is telling my kid that I'm a bad person. The judge is just gonna be like, But if you really get into it, judges are more and more, because of all these studies that have come out about how children think about parenting and how important it is to their futures. Judges now have really kind of come around to understanding that parental alienation is a very bad thing. It's a very bad thing. And a lot of judges now will punish it. They will actually, well, punish is the wrong word, although it looks like punishment. They will actually take the child from the mother and give custody of the child to the father. Now, to the mother, it looks like punishment, but what it really is you're trying to save the relationship between the father and the child. Take that child out of that mother's home, put the child in the father's home so that the child sees what type of man this is. And is not just basing his image of his father on what the mother is saying every night. So if you're experiencing parental alienation, you can't just stop paying child support because you're going to go to jail. Your license is going to get suspended. Your stimulus checks are going to get intercepted. You're going to have all this debt on child support. They're going to put interest on your child support debt. It's going to be a wreck. You have to go to court and you have to tell the judge that there's parental alienation going on. That's an expensive process. If you want to win, you're probably going to have to hire an attorney. If the judge takes what you're saying seriously, the judge is going to assign an attorney to the child. You might have to pay for it all, but at least that cost is going to be split. So of the child's attorney. And the case can go on for 6 months. It can go on for a year. Right? That's why it works. That's why parental alienation works, because it costs so much to stop it. Most people can't afford to stop it. So it continues and the children grow up to hate the father. Then when they're 27 or 30, they're like, hey, you know what? They reunite with the father. They take him to lunch, take him to dinner, and find out he's a cool dude. And the mom was just poisoning their minds long ago. But here's the thing. There's so many men paying child support, even when their children are 30. They're not paying the actual current payments, but they're paying all the child support debt because of the interest. Interest in California, where Stephanie's from, it's like 10%. How are you going to get out of that? You're not going to get out of that. So that's a great question. You cannot stop paying child support because of child alienation. But if you can switch the custody, then you might be receiving child support. Now, that's a rare case, but it does happen because judges are starting to take this very seriously. Judges will not take a lot of things seriously, but they will take parental alienation seriously. It's very devastating to a child. How did Denzel get this handle? How did he do it? Denzel Washington, my favorite actor. Oh, thank you for showing up in the chat. We got King of Spades in the house. We got King of Spades with the super chat. Jesus Christ. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, brother.
King of Spades, 18 wheels, 2 pavements, rolling through Mississippi right now, supplying America's beef. My God. Still here for class. This is what I'm talking about, guys. All I want to do is just give you this information. I totally appreciate people like King of Spades hooking your boy up with the coffees, man, hooking your boy up with the King of Spades. But I just want you guys to know that I'm doing it from the heart. I'm doing it from the heart because I see it. And listen, I'm a part of the problem, right? This camera that I'm looking at, it costs money. I'm looking at a Mac 27-inch iMac, came out last year. This thing costs money. I represent women sometimes. I'm on the other side, sticking men. Like, I don't want you guys to think that I'm some angel, man. I've been doing this for 20 years, representing everybody. But I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing men on the witness stand breaking down in tears. And I know that the system is unfair. I know it 100%. So I myself can't change all of these laws. And, I just work in Atlanta. But, there's Kansas, there's LA, where Stephanie's from. My man, King of Spades, rolling through the country, all types of jurisdictions, right? I can't change the laws everywhere, but what I can do is talk to you people, both men and women. Just give you guys some information so that you can avoid the mistakes that most people make. And when my man King of Spades said he's showing up for class, that makes me feel so good because I just want to help you guys. Who else we got? Al. I didn't know anything about child support till I was on it. My parents have been married for 50 years. Amazing. I think it was LaShawn, right? She was married for like 32 years. She needs to come up with a YouTube channel because you just don't see marriages that last that long these days. You don't ever hear about them. You do not hear from people who are married 30 years. We don't have that insight. We don't know what it takes. So he's exactly right. But I want to say one thing about this, guys. He says, I didn't know anything about child support. He says, I didn't know anything about child support until I was on it. My parents have been married 50 years. Most of you guys' parents were married 5 years, 10 years, right? They got divorced at some point. Some of y'all's parents weren't even married. My parents weren't married, right? But even then, your father's not going to talk to you about child support. Even then, your own mother is not going to explain to you the traps about child support, even though she was going through the ringer with your father. You know, so many people think child support is so great for women, man, and it can be. But child support can be a terrible proposition for women. It can be totally unfair. You can go on the internet and find women who are getting $50 a month for their 2 kids in child support. What is $50 a month supposed to do? And then the men won't pay it. And then they can't even find them. One month, the guy is in Kansas. Another month, he's down in Boca Raton. Another month, he's sleeping on somebody's couch in New York. Where are you going to serve him? Where are you going to find him? Where are you going to court? He's gone. You don't even know where to serve him so you can go to court. I get a certain type of person on my channel who says that child support is illegal. And there's a reason. There's this legal reason that they're saying this. And the legal reason is based on a case in which there was a class action suit against child support. Guess who filed the suit against child support? Guess who sued child support? The case went to the Supreme Court. Mothers gathered together in a class action lawsuit and sued child support because they said child support wasn't doing enough. Child support was doing a poor job. And they were right. They lost the case. But the child support system for men and women is unfair so many times. The only issue is it's a lot more fair for women in general than it is for men. I mean, there just really shouldn't even be any. The default should be no child support, 50-50 physical custody. I pay for my kid when he's with me. You pay for our kid when he's with you, period. It's exactly right. Kareem, I don't know how I came across your channel, but I am really grateful. I'm grateful for you too. Thank you for tuning in. I am a divorce attorney here in Atlanta. Kareem, this is my second live stream, so I don't know what I'm doing. So I just appreciate you you hanging in. Oh my goodness. See, you guys know how to make a man feel good. $20. $20 coming from MKC.
Thank you very much,
Thank you very much. God, you guys are so good. Kansas, that's the way they call that, the bread basket. Is that part of the bread basket? You got, or no? Maybe that's north of you guys. Kansas, Missouri, right? No, that's Kansas City. Jeez. All I know is about divorce. I don't know what a carburetor is. I can't tell you anything about cars. I can't tell you anything about geography. All I know is this child support. All I know is this divorce, this alimony, relationships, marriage. That's all I know, guys. Thank you so much, MKC. I appreciate it. How do I do this? Okay. You wouldn't believe my story. Set up a cash app for your channel. I got a cash app. I need to find, this is only my second time. I see people doing these lives, Al, and they'll have their cash app scrolling through their stream. I don't know how to do that yet. I've got a cash app. Look at this. I'm messing up. It's in the description box for all of my videos. If anybody wants to send me a coffee, that's what I set it up there for. All right, who we got? But thank you for that, Al. Billy, will they garnish third stimulus? Let's talk about this for a second. Where are we at? What happened? There was a first stimulus. It was a mess. They tried to give all of these people money. The Americans, we needed it. They gave a lot more to companies, but whatever. But they wanted to make sure that any man that owed money for child support didn't get anything. And so they started intercepting all of these men's child stimulus payments. And it was a mess. They made so many mistakes, which was to be expected because this was the first time that they were doing something so massive like this. You remember last year what was going on. The whole country was freaked out. So now they're trying to implement this whole new system and then make a special carve out for fathers, for men who don't qualify, right? And so they ended up taking people's money, taking men's money who actually did qualify. They shouldn't have taken it. They took men's stimulus payments, and instead of giving it to the mothers, instead of giving it to the children, they sent it right back to the federal government, right? Or the men were married. They had remarried to a new woman. They would take her stimulus checks as well as his to pay for the child support. There were so many problems. So That was a complete embarrassment. The second stimulus package comes around. What do they say? They say, okay, listen, we're not gonna go down that road anymore. It was too complicated, and we effed it all up. We're not gonna do it. Everybody's gonna get to 600, right? Everybody's supposed to get it. Fine. The third stimulus package, what do? They try to make it like the second, but they couldn't because there wasn't cooperation between both Democrats and Republicans. So the Democrats had to pass the bill, had to pass the aid, had to pass the law in a certain way through budget reconciliation. And this process didn't allow for the same protections that were in the second bill to be in the third. So what does that mean? Here's the question. Well, he asked really the best question. The more general question is, can child support enforcement take my $1,400 if I owe back child support? The answer is no. You are going to get your $1,400. Child support cannot take it before it comes to you. But here's the problem, and this is what Billy's pointing out. Will they garnish it? They will absolutely garnish it. What does that mean? It means that if your bank account is sketched out, if your bank account has garnishments against it, if it has court orders against it, if it has costs against it, even if you owe the bank money, if you've got overdraft fees or this fee or that fee, anything that the bank, whatever money hits your account, it can be garnished immediately. It will be locked in and you will not get that money out. It'll be gone. They will freeze your whole account. They shouldn't do that, but these are the protections that are just not available in the third stimulus package. So if you get a check, if you get a physical check in the mail, at least you've got some hope. You can take it to Walmart. You can take it to a liquor store and cash it out that way. Or you can sign it over to your mama or sign it over to your whoever and have them cash it at their bank. Do not put that check in your account. You will not get that money. You will not get $1 of that $1,400. Now, you will get a check if you're lucky. Some of you will be unlucky. Some of you will get $1,400, but it will be a direct deposit straight into your account. Bam. It was locked up before they sent it. You never even got to sniff that $1,400. So just cross your fingers that you get a check. If they do this direct deposit, if they do this EBT card stuff, you might be screwed. Thank you so much, Billy. Esteban, my man, this is a great supporter of the channel as well, guys. I really appreciate him. He's bought me so many. He's bought your boys so many coffees. So many. Totally appreciate. I can't do anything without these coffees. You have been a great help because other than this channel, we would be on the cloud. Even with attorneys, we do not always get the representation we need. Correct. We are ignorant of the system that is against us. He's absolutely right. Just like Al said, no one knows about this stuff until you're in it. And then it's too late. Can you imagine being in the Super Bowl? Like you wake up, you're in your bed and you wake up and you were dreaming you were in your bed. You wake up, you were in the huddle in the Super Bowl and Tom Brady's looking at you, says, we're going to call a sweep. And you're like, what? And this hike and you got the ball. And you're like, where am I? Bam. You got three 300-pound men on top of you. You didn't know what to do. You got crushed. You got crushed. You woke up and you got the ball. And so many men wake up and they're in it. They were walking around kind of in a daze. They didn't know this. They were making mistakes because they didn't know. And when they find out, it's 2 D linemen on them. 300 pounds apiece. Crushed. He's exactly right. So thank you, Esteban. That's the whole purpose of the channel. The whole purpose of the channel is to help you guys out, to let you know before you get the ball what the game is, what the situation is, what down is it, what you need to do. Get your footwork right. Learn how to run with the ball, man. Learn it. Maybe you shouldn't even be playing the game, right? It's difficult. Who else we got? Crystal. Crystal is representing hard yesterday in the lead attorney's first live stream. Really appreciate that. She was dropping a lot of great knowledge. I don't like this. A lot of great knowledge in the chat yesterday. Joe C., my very first viewer on the live stream. Thank you so much. Spot on, fam. Exactly. Energy won't work in 2 different states. I don't know what that means. I must have missed something. Noe, why did judge act differently when someone represents themselves? This is such a great question. Here's the thing, guys. Judges are like women who are like men. We're all just people. We're all just people. Men or women, police officers, firefighters, veterans. We're all just people. And you've got some great people and you've got some terrible people. There are some terrible judges. But what will people do if you give them some slack? What will people do if they're not being supervised, really? If they're not being watched? What's going to happen? You ever gone to work and seen somebody at a job and they don't have any supervision at all? And what happens when there's 3 months, 6 months, 2 years? How do they act after 4 years of no supervision? No one tells them anything. They can't be fired. Some government worker. It's not a shot at government workers, but sometimes it's very hard to fire a government employee. And, they're slack. Now, when the boss comes in, they're all, oh, yeah, we're on it. Yeah, this and that, we're on it. The boss leaves, oh, thank God he's gone. Same way with these judges. If you go into a courtroom and there are 40 attorneys in there, the judge is going to be on his P's and Q's. But if you go to these small claims court or you go to these hearings where just child support hearings maybe where there's not one attorney because the father can't afford them, or it's just a man and a woman and there are no attorneys, there's no supervision. The judges know that these 2 unrepresented people, they don't know what's going on. They don't even know what's supposed to happen. If you show up to court and you don't have an attorney and you're not an attorney yourself, you don't even know what's supposed to happen. You walk out, you got screwed. You say, man, I got screwed. I don't know if I should have got screwed or not. How would I know? And that's one of the big problems that Noe is addressing. Why do judges act differently when someone represents them? Because you have someone there who knows what they're doing, someone who can call them out. Someone can say, no, judge, you're wrong. You're not following the law, and I will appeal you. Almost no one who's not an attorney, who's not represented, even knows how to appeal a judge. You don't even know how. And this judge isn't somebody special. It's just some 50-year-old guy that you'll see at the mall. He's just some regular person. The same type of regular people that you work with who will slack off when the boss is not around. This is how people are. This is a great question. This is why there's so many things that affect whether or not you are going to get justice in your case. It's very difficult. All right, Kareem, child support broke me. That's exactly right. Child support broke me and made me discouraged. Furthermore, made me discouraged. Furthermore, I'm on child support for a child that's been with me since 2017. Does that mean that you have custody of your child? That's so terrible. The system is rough. Oh, man.
Jesus Christ.
We got Crystal. Crystal's so awesome, guys. We got Crystal with the super chat.
Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you so much, Crystal. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all of your great comments and great insights yesterday on my live stream, my very first one. I needed your help. I was struggling. So thank you. Thank you for all of your support. I definitely appreciate it. Who else we got? Esteban. Imagine not only paying child support, but also paying 78% health expenses, summer camps, therapies. On top of that, being micromanaged on 4 days a month that we get. This is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. Like, guys get stuck with 4 days a month, 6 days a month. And then women complain, oh, you're not taking the child to the doctor. You're not taking the child to the dentist. Who the hell showed up to fight for custody when we were at the divorce? You didn't give me 50-50 custody. Why? Because you wanted the child support. And the way the child support system is set up, it'll screw you. It will screw you. Esteban is absolutely right. Billy with the thumbs up. LaShawn, when are you going to start that channel, LaShawn? We're waiting on it. That's right. Child support should not be a scapegoat for not parenting. Exactly. That's what I start off with. If a guy does not want to step up to his responsibilities of being a parent 50% of the time, stick him with child support then. If he has half the DNA of that child, half the DNA of that chromosome, but does not want that child to live with him half the time, then that's on him. Now, if you're going to stick him with child support, I still think the child support system should be fair, and it's not fair. But even then, at least he made his choice to go into an unfair system. There's so many great fathers, absolutely 100% great fathers who see their children 8 days a month. And it's tough on the moms. Listen, I mean, a lot of guys don't appreciate how hard raising a child can be when you have that primary custody. Now, a lot of these fathers don't realize that because they weren't given the opportunity, right? So whose fault is it? But still, the mothers that do best with parenting are mothers who have a support system. You know, is their mother around? Is grandma around to watch this kid while I got to go to work? Or can grandma go and pick up the kid? Do I have a sister that can go and pick up the kid when I get off work late? Do I have a best friend that can watch my 6-year-old while I go out on a date? Can I have some me time? Right? A lot of fathers aren't going to want to find that support system. I don't want to say a lot of fathers. Some fathers are not going to want to be bothered. Some fathers are going to want that 5. Just give me 5 days a month with the kid. I'm good. I don't want to have to go through the trouble of finding a support system for this kid. It's too much work. I got a job that doesn't allow for it. So if that's their choice, then that's fine if you want to give them child support. But they shouldn't start off that way. A judge should really say, hey, this is your child. Step up to the plate. But the judges do the opposite. The judges say, oh, you're a great father, fine. Here's your 6 days instead of 4. It's so ridiculous. Andre, the big super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Andre. I really appreciate it. Andre is the man. In fact, I think he has a YouTube channel. If maybe I get everybody confused, but thank you so much for the super chat, Andre. He is the man. Jason. All right, we got another question. Question for you. I never got the first stimulus check, but I got the second, exactly. And I see in my bank that I will be getting the third one. So does that mean that I will get my taxes back too? Okay, let me say one thing about this before we get into it. Number one, I'm just an attorney, guys. Some of these questions about the stimulus, they're going to get so deep, they're going to go into kind of accounting territory. I'm the lead attorney, but I'm not the lead accountant. So let's start by saying that. And let me just say also that none of this is legal advice, right? I'm just giving you guys information. All right, he's exactly right. The first stimulus check, so many fathers, you just got ganked, man. It's gone. But they put those protections in for the second one. The third one, he says, listen, I'm getting notifications that I'm going to get it. Yesterday on the chat, there were 2 men. They both owed child support, and they both got their stimulus checks yesterday, the full amount. So he says that he thinks that he's going to get the third. That is awesome. Does that mean I will get my taxes back too? I don't, but that's where I stop. I don't really know about the taxes, but congratulations. Yes, that is exactly right, Crystal. 10 coffees, man. Thank you guys so much. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Kareem, how can I send you something for your Cash App? Yeah, you can just go to my what am I trying to say? Go to my video. Let me see if I can do it here. Can you guys follow me? Let's see here.
It did.
If I can do this. If you want to find my Cash App, just go to Show More down here. And then if you want to buy the lead attorney a coffee, I'll just paste it right here. And I really appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate it. Can I put this in the chat? I'm learning. Did that work? I don't think that worked like I wanted it to. But thank you for asking anyway. God, I can't figure out what I'm doing. Thank you, Kareem. I really appreciate it. Where am I? God, you guys are killing. I really appreciate it. All the likes and the super chat, guys. Man, that really all right, I don't know where I'm at. Okay. Here we go. Crystal, please share the channel on your post. Is that for me? Maybe. Al, visitation and child support are totally separate in Louisiana. This is a great point. They're totally separate everywhere. So many fathers get in the hole because the mothers screw around with the visitation, right? Especially when the guy gets a new girl. We see it all the time. Mom finds out that dad has a new girl, visitation stops. So what does the dad do? The dad's like, oh, okay. Visitation stops, so I'm stopping my child support. And dad goes to jail, right? Mom's fine for stopping the visitation. Dad goes to jail for stopping the child support. He's exactly right. These things are totally different. What happens if you are not allowed, if your child's mother or your child's father starts to violate one provision or another of the court order? You got to go back to court. If the mother is not allowing you to have visitation with your child, the judge will never know. The judge will absolutely never know unless you tell him. So you got to go back into court and you got to file something. But even when you go back to court, even when you file something, even when you're waiting for your court date, all these months you're waiting for your court date, you're not getting any visitation. You still got to keep making those payments. Still got. And listen, that's reasonable on one part because even while you're waiting for the court date, your child still needs to eat. I mean, can we be honest? Your children need money, right? But the issue was you weren't given the opportunity to share 50-50 in those costs in the beginning. So now they put you in an unjust system. But he's absolutely right. Totally separate. That is so true. Josie agreed. Yes. Crystal, wow. Fathers are important to raise. See, Crystal needs to be a judge. I vote for Crystal to be in a row because this is what we need judges to understand. Every single study shows that children do best when both parents are involved. Both parents are involved. Judges, man, they don't see it that way. I don't really know what's going on. Lee, give us some tips on how to fight back. We are the resistance. Yes, listen, and this is what we're doing. And Esteban, I guess the most important thing for me in terms of fighting back is what you guys are doing right now. It's just you're taking in the information, right? And then if you take in the information and you can pass it to somebody else, maybe you have a couple of kids. You have an 18-year-old son, a 17-year-old son, a 22-year-old son. Maybe you have a best friend who say, hey, man, I don't really know much. Maybe you're 24, but you got a best friend who's got his nose wide open for some girl who's pressuring him to have a kid. You say, man, listen, I don't know much about the law, but, check this out. Check this channel out. Check this channel out. Check these resources out. The resistance is spreading the information. So many people want to go to change the laws, and that's a great thing. The problem is it takes time, but the information can spread so quickly. How fast does a damn TikTok spread, right? I mean, one good TikTok can go viral and half the nation has seen it in 2 days. This is a form of resistance, spreading the information that no one wants you to know about. So this is a great comment. I think one great way is just doing what you're doing instead of doing what you're doing, guys, in the chat. Just finding out what's really going on from a person who knows what he's talking about, a person who's been in the trenches. It's easy to listen to someone who goes to your gym, say, oh, you know, women aren't this or women aren't that, it's not worth it, or, you know, this or that. But, you know, they haven't sat beside men in court who are crying, right? For 20 years, they haven't done it. So they don't, you know, you got to go to the source. ODB, Peace lead attorney, any advice for first time heading into mediation? Man, I have a whole video on mediation that I never edited. I'm going to get it out. Thank you. I'm going to get it out. What would be my advice heading into mediation? Here's my advice if you can afford it. Not necessarily to hire an attorney, which is always the advice you're going to hear from an attorney because generally it's a good investment. But attorneys can be very expensive. One thing I might do though, I might bring all my paperwork together. I don't know what your case is about. If it's child support, if it's custody, divorce, I don't know. Get all my papers together, get all my evidence together, pay for 1 hour. 1 hour of an attorney's time in my city, in my jurisdiction. Let him look at all my paperwork and tell me what the law is. Tell me what to expect. Tell him to calculate my child support. How much is my child support supposed to be? You know, in this jurisdiction, what is the judge going to do about my visitation? Do these judges normally give me 4 days? Do judges normally give me 8 days? Is this a place maybe like California in certain counties, Florida in certain counties, where I can really fight for 50-50 custody? You need to know what the bottom line is. You need to know what a judge is going to do in your city. Then when you walk in there, if you pay for that attorney for just 1 hour, not for the attorney to go with you or anything like that, it would be better if you could pay for that. But even if you can't, if the attorney calculates your child support and it's supposed to be $600 and the mediator is talking about $900, you already know we're not reaching an agreement. Because I already know what my child support is supposed to be. But if the attorney calculates your child support at $600 and the mediator calculates it out at $600, then you're like, okay, we're talking. It could be that the mediator calculates it at $500. So you know you're getting a good deal. But if you had not gone to that attorney, the mediator would have said $500 and you would have been like, oh, well, what about $450? When you should have snapped on the $500, right? So you need to know what a good deal is. If you don't know the law, you're not going to know what a good deal is. That's the first step. You got to find out what's a good deal, what's a bad deal. Great question. Kareem, I have no faith in this justice system all across the board, not only with family. It's not only with family, it's not only with family court. It's biased. Yeah. Any type of system that's run by human beings, like I don't really know one that's completely fair, but sometimes it seems like family court goes out of its way to be unfair. That is true. There are other types of law that are even more unfair than family law, but family law is definitely up there. Crystal, are there NPs that assist with child support and custody? I don't know what an NP is. Are there NPs that assist? I don't know what an NP is. Tell me what an NP is. Licia, my husband did spousal abandonment and child alienation to stop paying both. Yeah, that's tough. Listen, this channel is geared for men, and it's geared to help men. But that's the gear, right? That's the direction. But I really want to help everybody. And I will tell you that there are some men out there that are monsters. And I know this for a fact because I've represented them. I've represented them. You know, I don't like when men get on here and say all women aren't this and all women aren't that. But the same way we can't say all men are great, man. We got a lot of great men out here, but there are a few that deserve to be in prison, if we're going to be honest about it. I just want my channel to be about honesty, guys. That's true. Alonzo, I have a question. Does the non-custodial parent paying the child support stop paying once the No, 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 no. And this is a good question because you would think, if, let's say the mother gets married to Alex Rodriguez now that J-Lo got dumped, and Alex Rodriguez, let's say he has, $1 billion. So now your child is living with a man who makes $1 billion. Does he need your $900 a month? Absolutely not. 0% he needs it. Your $900 a month is going to be 100% wasted because she got married, the mom got married to Alex Rodriguez, who was $1 billion. Here's the problem though. It's not Alex's kid, right? It's not the new husband's child. So it doesn't stop the child support. Now, there are a few jurisdictions that will take into account a new spouse's income to calculate child support, but it's not the rule that once she gets married, the child support stops. Now, in a lot of jurisdictions, if the parent gets remarried, do you know what'll stop? Alimony. Alimony will stop in many jurisdictions once a parent gets married, because the whole purpose of alimony is financial support. Well, if you get married to a man that has a job, so hopefully he can support you. Like, that's why you guys are getting together, so you don't need my money anymore because now you've got a support system that you're marrying. So, great question. Christopher, I owe $2,000. They say I owe $2,000. They say, and they took everything, leaving me with $30 out of $800 check. Yep. And it's interesting that they left you with the $20, $30 if you owed $2,000. Oh, I guess your check was larger than $2,000. That's exactly right. I mean, they will take it all. And they don't care over in California. If you're in California and I just did a video on this about LA, my man LA out there, you will have 50-50 custody of your kids. So you stop paying child support. This is what happened to him. He went to court by himself and he won 50-50 custody of those kids. He's three beautiful daughters. So he goes to court, wins custody of the kids. The judge says, okay, you got custody, child support can stop. Great. Immediately, the mom goes and applies for welfare, applies for cash aid, government aid. So when she applies for government aid, the aid worker's like, hey, where's the father? And the mom's like, oh, the father isn't around. I don't know where he is. When there's a court order saying that he has 50-50 custody of the kids. So, of course, the state goes to him and says, hey, we're reopening your child support case. And he's like, it just closed because I got 50-50 custody. They set it for a hearing. He shows up at the hearing. He says, Judge, I got 50-50 custody. The judge says, I don't care. She's on child support, $600 a month. And he has 50-50 custody of his kids. His $3 are with him half of the time, half of every month. He's still paying $600 a month. Here's the kicker. The $600 a month that he's paying, that money doesn't, which is huge to him. He's not a rich man. He just works at the post office. That $600 a month doesn't even go to his kids. It doesn't even go to his kids. It goes to the state to repay the state for some of the money that they're paying to the mom for the welfare. It's like, how fair is that? That a man has to pay a state even though he has 50-50 custody of the kids, and the money that they are taking out of his check doesn't even go to his kids. It goes to the state so that they can pay their employees, or who knows. It's terrible. Terrible. And none went to arrears. Arrears are definitely something else. People are funny. That's exactly right, Crystal. Can you get off child support if the mom lives off it with a loser boyfriend in the house, about to have her third baby with the father? No. In fact, it's going to be worse for you. Number one, if she has her third baby, that means that you might end up paying more, right? Because she has more of a need now, even though it's not your kid. And number two, if she's a loser, then she's not going to get a job. So it's going to depress her income, which means that you're going to pay more. In all states except for like 13 states, the less the mom makes, the more you pay. So if the mom becomes a loser, then she's going to earn less, which means you're going to pay more in child support. All right. So what's the key here, guys? You can't marry. You just cannot. If you have a child with a woman who's a loser, there's going to be some karma attached to that. You're going to get punished. So no, the answer is no. You can't get off child support. Is there any way to negotiate or remove arrears? Usually not, but there are some states that will allow a mother to consent. She has to be in agreement that, the arrears don't exist. It depends really on the jurisdiction. On the vast majority of states in the country, those things, not only are they not removable, but there's interest attached to them. And your kids don't even get the interest. The state gets the interest. So that's a great question. But I would check. I would have a 15-minute free consultation with an attorney that lives in your city. Telephonic. Don't even go in there. Just call around and find an attorney who will answer that question. It'll probably be no, but it's very important to find out the answer. Great question. I got my daughter a green dot. Here we go with the green dot card. Do you remember the green dot card, Crystal? I got my daughter a green dot card that I put money on so she can have her own money, and the mother doesn't like I do that because she wants that money. She's 12. Good idea or no? Yes, it's a good idea to. If it comes from your heart, it's always a great idea to support your children. Absolutely. Here's the thing, MKC, though. You are not going to get credit for the money you put on that card. So let's say your child support is $900 and you put $200 on the card. You can't turn around and give the mother $700 because of the $200 that you put on the card, so now it's $900. No, you still have to pay the $900, and the $200 that you put on the card is a gift. So it's a bad idea if you want credit for child support, but it's a good idea if you want your kid to have some spending money. And I think 12 years old, listen, so many reasons why men get screwed over in the family law system is because they're ignorant of it. They just don't know what's going on. But both men and women get screwed over in their finances because they do not know how to handle money, right? If you don't give a child money until the child turns 18, the child is going to have some very hard lessons to learn about how to handle her or how to handle his money. So you starting your child off at 12 with $12, not $12, but starting your child off with a debit card so she can learn how to use money. That's an excellent idea. I remember, man, my mom, when I was young, I don't know, maybe I was like 12 also or something like that, for Christmas, what she started doing was taking me to Toys R Us, right? And she would give me like $50. And I remember getting those $50 and I'd be like, oh my God, $50 is so much money. So much money. And I'm thinking of all the stuff that I'm going to buy on the ride over there. You know, you get the envelope and you pull out the $50. It's a crisp $50 bill. And you're like, man, this is $50 million right here. And so you can't even wait, man. That $50 is burning a hole in your pocket. And you get to Toys R Us and you get inside and you're like, oh, I want this and this and this. And the mom says, okay, did you look at the prices? You look at the prices, you learn real quick that $50, it ain't worth nothing. I mean, it was worth something back in the day when I was 12, but it makes you realize the value of money, right? So I think that's an excellent idea to give your child money, if nothing alone, just so that she learns what money is about. She learns to become, financial responsibility starts to sink in. Excellent. Kareem, how do I know if the stimulus that I haven't received went to child support in the first place? That's a great question. You know, most people are saying you need to call the IRS, but they're slammed. I don't know if you'll ever know. You really should get a letter. You should get a letter saying that your stimulus was applied to your child support balance. You can also check your child support balance online to see if it's credited. But, that can take months. And a lot of fathers who should have gotten letters in the first round never got them. They never got them. So if you don't get a letter, you can call up there to find out, or you can check your balance online to kind of see where you're at with it. Great question. Raymond,
Jesus Christ.
my man with the super chat.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much, brother.
Y'all go check out Raymond, man. Raymond has a YouTube channel himself. A ton of subscribers. He is it's like a second or a third star general in the Air Force. I don't know if it's second. Really, I don't know about the ranks, right? To me, you got a private and you got a general. If those are the only two ranks you got, private or general, he's definitely a general. He has an amazing amount of wisdom and it's amazing not because it's so much wisdom, but because he's so young. And I don't know, I'm sure some of that is him, his personality, and some of that is the military and what he's seen and how he's been able to process it all. But geez, to see a young man with that much knowledge and wisdom, it is amazing. So yeah, if it's only private or a general, he's definitely a general. Y'all go check him out, especially the young men on here, because he's got such great content. He got me wanting to join the Air Force. I'm old though, but a lot of his content are for older recruits. But I can't imagine like a 26-year-old drill sergeant screaming in my face. I would really have to humble myself for that to work. I've got flaws too, guys. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you very much, brother.
I appreciate that. Also, let me point out too that Raymond is one of the reasons why I'm doing this live stream. I did a live stream with O'Shea Duke Jackson, and that was the first time I ever did one. And after that, he actually saw me on that live stream, and I was complaining about how hard YouTube is. And he gave me the idea to do a live stream and then kind of cut it up and make videos out of the one long live stream, since nobody's going to sit down and watch a 2-hour live stream anyway. And so I haven't gotten to cutting them up yet. But when he said that, then that made me think of other people who do it, like Joe Rogan and Lex Friedman and all them. So thank you, Raymond. So much support, and he sent me this really nice email giving me these tips. I didn't know him at all, and he just took the time to do that out of the kindness of his heart to help a brother out. So
thank you very much, brother.
Really appreciate it. Esteban's in Virginia. You know what's weird about Virginia? In Georgia, if you want to get divorced, your divorce has to last 30 days. In Virginia, it has to last a year minimum, I believe. If you get married in Virginia, or if you get divorced in Virginia, you're going to be tied to your wife for a long time if things don't work out, a whole year. Grab the Mossberg and do the Lord's work. I don't know about that, Rick Rude. All right. I can't seem to pass the bar exam. What career can I have with the JD and LLM in energy law? I can't seem to pass the bar exam. What career can I have with the JD? Okay, I see what you're saying. Listen, you can do so much with the JD. I think if law school wasn't so darn expensive, everybody should get a JD, because people think law school, they teach you about the laws, and that's really not the case. What they really try to do is teach you two things, right? They try to teach you how to think critically, logically. Now, it's a blessing and a curse, because there are a lot of situations where once they teach you that, you can't unlearn it. You can't unthink it. And so there are a lot of situations where you shouldn't be so logical if you want things to work out in a relationship, for example. But they teach you how to think logically, which is a critical skill. And they also teach you how to spot issues, spot red flags in legal cases. Probably half of the Senate, half of the House, half of Congress is like they're all attorneys. All our presidents have been attorneys, not all of them, but not Trump, right? But Obama was an attorney. I think Bush was an attorney. I think Clinton was an attorney. Hillary Clinton, she wasn't a president. She's also an attorney. They're all attorneys. It teaches you how to think. But if you do not have if you don't pass the bar, I'm not sure what your prospects are to enter into a firm practicing energy law, you're probably going to have some competition, and that competition might have passed the bar. So I can see that being a stumbling block. Jerron, North Carolina representing. I used to go up to y'all's place all the time. Y'all got that casino, Cherokee. I used to go up there. Jennifer, have you seen any improvement throughout the years in the courts as far as fairness? Guys, one of the huge reasons I even have a channel is because of this nice lady right here, Jennifer Molesky. Please go check out her channel. She also gives a lot of great information. It's not legal information. It's life information with regards to relationships. And she is kind of the model of what I hope my channel is, which is just fair. Not politically correct. That's not a motivation. It's not to save anybody's feelings, although I don't go out my way to hurt anybody's feelings. I just want to get down to the truth. What's the truth of the matter? And recognize both sides. You're never going to hear me just totally shitting on women all the time, because there are a lot of great women, right? There are a lot of great men. I just want to be fair. And I've got that whole perspective from her channel. I love it. So please go check her channel out. Have you seen any improvements throughout the years in courts as far as fairness? The answer is yes. And because it's usually because laws are slowly getting more fair with regards to at least child custody. You know, it used to be the case where a man was lucky. I mean, standing in the 80s, and you were getting 4 days a month with your child, and that's it. Friday to Sunday, and that's it. And over the years, at least in Georgia, it's moved from maybe Friday to a Monday morning drop off at school. And then now sometimes it's Thursday. From Thursday to Monday, drop off at school every other weekend. So it's still not half and half, but it's slowly expanding. You know, it used to be 1 week, 1 week in the summer. And then it was 2 weeks in the summer. Now it can be 3 weeks in the summer. So, you know, to go from 2 to 3 weeks in 5 years is not a lot of improvement, but I do want to be honest and say that there has been some improvement. Yes, but if I had time to think about it, I would also think about the fact that women's financial capacity has improved over the years as well. I mean, in 20, 30 years, women have just made so many gains in the workplace. So I'm sure that has something to do with it as well. So thank you, Jennifer. Y'all go check out her channel. She is awesome and one of my huge inspirations. She's really half of the inspiration for this channel between her and Josh Fluke. It's awesome. Kareem Davis, New York. Yes, New York law is just twisted. It's so common in New York to get 50-50 custody and you're still paying child support. I do not know how that makes sense. How is that a thing? I make a baby with a woman. We share time, equal time with a woman, but I still have to pay her. I've been in the game a long time. I want to be honest with you. Some things don't make sense to me. It's whatever. He's exactly right. Christopher, they taken my whole check and it's past the arrears. And it's past the arrears. They say I owe. It's past $3,000. What can I do, Lee? They still taking the refund also. Yeah, it's a mess. What I would do is, I would drive over to the child support office and sit down and talk with the child support agent and really insist on, show me the printout, show me the ledger, show me the balance. Let's look at it together on paper. You try to do this stuff over the phone, you try to do it over emails, and they're making you call the 1-800 number downtown and you can't talk to anybody, you got to leave a message. It's terrible. I would try to get in front of somebody physical. I would go up there to the child support office and I would talk to an agent about that to try to get it cleared up. I would not try to send a letter or email or a phone call. That's a great question. It's a mess. Texas child support laws suck. Yeah, Texas is a little different. Texas is one of those states where they don't even consider how much a woman makes when they order child support. They only look at the dad. Now, it used to be like that in all states, but everybody's like, that doesn't make sense. If The child was created by both parents. Why are we only looking for one parent for support? Why are we only considering one parent's income? We should consider both parents' income. But Texas is still old school. Like, don't you guys still wear cowboy boots down there? That's a joke, but I mean, they're just some traditions die hard in that state. No one can tell me that Texas is not a traditional state. So they're still under that old system. He's absolutely right. Christopher Vargas, my man Christopher, what is up? What is up, Christopher? James Fowler, good question. Yes, I love the fact that you guys are asking these great questions and interacting. That is awesome. And if you could, everybody drop a like. We've got some good likes, so thank you. Tiff, yo, what's up, boss? Do you remember me? Yeah, Tough. Tough is the man. Great support of the channel. Really love his comments. Great to see you. Christopher, if arrears have been paid, did I just answer this? No. If arrears have been paid long ago, but they still taking taxes, STEM checks, my job checks, it's over. Yeah, I can't even tell where I am. What I would do, Christopher, I would really go up to child support enforcement and talk to them and see if you can get on the same page about how much is owed. Because if you don't, they're going to make mistakes. A lot of you guys don't realize this, but these child support agents, these child support enforcement agents, some of them are like 26 years old and they've got a caseload of 2,000 cases. I mean, you give a 26-year-old 2,000 cases worth of work. Is it even possible for them not to make mistakes? Even if they're 46, 2,000 cases is a lot. So they will make mistakes. You got to be on them. You really do. That's a great question. But you got to put in some elbow grease. You actually got to talk to somebody. You got to go to places. You got to do a lot of pounding the pavement to try to figure it out. Face facts. At Kareem, 100%, my judge lied and tried to hide the transcripts to make it like she wasn't lying. Yes. Yes. It's so true. All right, Esteban. What sucks is having to reprogram your kids every other weekend. Yes. They get colder. They won't share with you anything. You ask them about their past 2 weeks and they were told not to say anything. This is the parental alienation we were talking about. This is so true. John Bias, I always thought it was illegal to be jailed for debts. Yeah, supposedly we don't have any debtors prison. But don't pay your taxes and don't pay your child support. See what happens. Thumbs up, boss. Are you doing questions about the STEM check? Yes. Ask away, Tough. Ask away. Esteban, but it's completely fine for her to question them about everything else. Being treated like a deadbeat when you actually love your kids causes so much damage. Absolutely. Absolutely. Al, I'm 48. My dad is 68. The things you talk about in the red pill community were taboo. You were shamed for speaking against women as opposed to women. My dad was 100% blue pill. Yeah, that's the problem. If there's only one source of information, or maybe two, your dad and your uncle, and they're not with it, because it's not like their dads were told anything. Let's be honest. It's just a cycle. You can't even blame fathers and uncles and the older generation. You can't even blame them because they didn't know either. You can't tell anybody something that you don't know. And if your dad was married for 50 years, he doesn't know anything about the red pill community. That might be a good thing. It's hard. It'd be hard to maintain a marriage for 50 years if you're all red pill, right? So that's a great point. All right. Nathaniel. Mother was ordered to pay for medical insurance and didn't pay. Can she be held in contempt? Yes, absolutely. Will the father get credit for overpayment of child support, insuring the child on his health insurance? Will the father get credit for overpayment of child support, insuring the children on his health insurance? Maybe, but probably not. Probably not. A judge usually says the solution is to complain about it, to file a motion, not to pay it for a while and then file. It's very difficult to get credit for child support. You might get a set off, Um, she might have to pay you back, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a credit, right? If she owes you money, she might have to pay it back, but you might not get it as a credit. You could though, but it's just hard to really do credits with child support. Most judges don't want to do them. I never seen the 600 stimulus, so I'm not expecting the 14. Yeah, Kareem, most people got the 600. Now, if they didn't get it in a physical check, then a lot of accountants are saying you can still get it through your taxes. So check with an accountant, go down to H&R Block or something like that, because most people are supposed to be able to get their second stimulus. So yeah, tough. What's up? Big John Steele, my man, one of the long-time subscribers of the channel, always leaving comments. Really, really appreciate you, Big John. Really appreciate you. Hey, they have my wrong bank info and they don't allow you to change it. Yeah, they want to lock your money down. So true. Hey, they should have a class in school child support avoidance, or at least child support 101, right? At least child support 101. At least teach these young men and women what's going on. At least teach them. That's exactly right. It's so true. David, should parents that have 50-50 custody split their shared child's stimulus? I haven't seen any of my son's stimulus checks, and his mother is buying new things for herself instead of using his money. It's true. You know, this stimulus thing is very new, so it's not typically going to be in a lot of divorce decrees from years ago. So it's a question because this is a new thing. I would argue if I was a father that absolutely, you know, these are half my kids. I pay half of the expenses. I should get half of the stimulus. They're with me half the time. So it's a new thing, so it's hard to say yes or no, but I would definitely argue yes. Hey, what's the Cash App? Hey, let me see if I can put it in here. Thank you for asking. I just put it up here if you wanna. Oh man, did I skip? Whenever I do that, it skips all the way. Oh, thank the Lord I found it. Thank you, A. What if I file 2017 taxes and I have a debit account set up with direct deposit? Will I get my third stimulus straight to my card account? Could be. They're not really saying how they're determining who gets checks, who gets EBT cards, who gets direct deposits. They're not really saying. What they are saying is that, you know, you might want to call them and request your method of payment, but I'm not sure if that's working because the IRS is slammed right now because of the filing tax season and the tax season and the stimulus. It's hard to get anybody on the phone. Great question. How can you be a default father getting garnished when you have no biological children? Wow, gangster, you are a gangster. All right, hey, my man with the super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, and then another one. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, brother.
Really appreciate that, A. I really do. You leave a lot of great comments, and then with the money, you are just a great supporter as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see what you got here. Women should not be allowed to be judges. They are always biased. Well, you know, I'll tell you something. Some of the worst rulings I have seen have been from like 70-year-old and 80-year-old men. You know, men who, I don't know where you are, Abe, but I'm down here in Georgia and Atlanta. I'm in the South. And you take an 80-year-old judge and he might still have this whole damsel in distress type of mentality where, you know, these damsels need to be placed on these pedestals and they need to be protected, and you'll get screwed by an 80-year-old Southern judge. So, you know, maybe women will screw you, but these old men will let you know too. It's not a game. They are super conservative. Why was the law made so complicated that we need lawyers? It's a scam. It would be great if everybody, the problem is, this is such a great point. This is like the video I did about my man LA. So many times when you walk into a courtroom, if you don't have an attorney there with you, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. It's made so that you can't really help yourself. It would be better if the system were more simpler. I totally agree. Kamanzi, can I file for child support while I'm an international student here in the USA? Does my immigration status affect my child support filing? Can I file for child support? Yes, if you have a child here, you can file for child support. Does your immigration status affect your child support filing? No. No, if you have a child here, your child, you can apply for child support with your child and your immigration status does not come into play. Great questions. Kareem, my daughter hasn't gotten a vaccine since she was 6 years old. She just turned 11. Took her to get blood work and to the dentist only to find out she has 5 cavities and is borderline diabetic. Yeah, we see a lot of this where parents have very differing, well, this is going to happen in every case, really, where parents differ on their household rules. You know, they differ on discipline, they differ on health issues, they differ on diet. This is very true. This is very true. All right, Al, I called it first. This young man will become huge. I call the Hodge. Can we talk about the Hodge twins? I don't want to get into it. I call the Hodge twins, Kevin Samuels, Kylie Muscle, etc. I know talent. I was following those guys, 5,000 subs and below. Yes. You know, speaking of the Hodge twins, you guys might not know this. You can't tell because I'm sitting down, right? But I work out a lot. And I'm 6'3", and I'm a huge fan of the Hodge twins. And give me 1 second. I made a video. Which video was it? I did a video where I took a picture of the Hodge. The Hodge twins came to Atlanta. It wasn't this video. And the Hodge twins, if you guys don't know, I don't want to bore you guys. Maybe we're going off topic. The Hodge twins are... They were fitness YouTubers from way back in the day. They're OGs. And I can't find it. I'm going to screw this up. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, they came to Atlanta. They changed their career. They were going to be comedians, and they actually came to Atlanta and did a comedy show at the Fox. And I went to see them, and great comedy show. This is a few years ago. And good guys. But then a video popped up in my feed a few years ago, and they had totally flipped their trajectory. So I was surprised by that. But they got millions of subscribers, making millions of dollars a year. You're right, Al. I mean, they blew up. So if you put me in the same bucket with them, I will take it. Thank you so much. I will definitely take that as a compliment. Brother. All right, paycheck. On the flip side of things, we go through hell and hot water to raise kids that pick up their own path of pure crap. It's true. And it's very hard to raise a child on, 5 days a week or 5 days a month. If you don't have half the time with the child, it's terrible. All that work for just nothing. He's right. If I was approved for the first stimulus child support it took and I received the second on the card, do I have to file for the third? Will I get it without filing? Because I filed for the first with non-filers. It depends. They have started sending. We had 2 men on the stream yesterday who owed back child support, and they got their stimulus direct deposits yesterday. So it's hard to tell how you're going to receive it, when you're going to receive it. No one knows. It's a good question. It's a good question. Here is the Cash App somebody asked for. You should have a chance to do 50-50 custody before child support is involved. Absolutely. Totally agree. Find ways each parent has the child and what's best for the child. If it doesn't work, then implement child support. Yes, 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 yes. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Let the man be a parent, a full parent. And if he decides that he doesn't want that responsibility, then stick him with child support. See what the options are. But don't start off with child support and visitation. He's absolutely right. TJZ25, tomorrow's the big day. I have my first child support virtual conference. Man, I got anxiety like a mofo. I heard that. First child support virtual conference. Well, I hope it goes well for you. I really, really do, TJZ. If you can just stick to your guns, man, and I hope it goes well. And listen, many times it does. I don't really get too worked up about it. A lot of times these courts just follow the child support guidelines and it all works out fine. So that's good. That is really good. All right. I'm on child support for 2 children. My oldest daughter has been with me 3 years, and my youngest daughter's health isn't right because her mom hasn't took her to the doctor in 5 years. It's true, 5 years is a long time. And maybe the judge needs to figure out something about that. Now, if you haven't taken your daughter to the doctor for those same 5 years, the judge might look at you a little crazy too, right? But if you're the only one who's taken your daughter to the doctor and she refuses to do it, then that's definitely an issue. No mother or father should refuse to take their child to the doctor for checkups. If the mother needs so much help, why not just give the father custody? Exactly. Instead, they deny father's custody just to collect the money. You see this so much. Face facts is exactly right. What documentation can you show to a judge when one parent is denying visitation rights to the other than police reports? Yeah, that's a good point. Police reports are the best evidence, really. And if not, maybe text messages, emails. I would send a letter. If my ex denied me visitation of my children, I would be on it immediately. She would get an email. She would get a certified letter. She'd get a text message. She would get so many. I would flood her with documentation, let her know I'm serious about it. She would come to court and I would bring a stack of papers like, Judge, I'm all over this lady. If you don't have police reports, send her an email, send her a certified letter, send her a text message, send her everything to prove it, everything. Child support reform, Paycheck says. That's exactly right. Karen, every time my daughter comes to visit, her clothes are dirty and she's not well taken care of, clearly. You see that a lot. He's right. Al, in Louisiana, there's no law to enforce visitation like child support, just contempt of court, as police were instructed not to transfer custody of minors. Yes, police do not want to get involved in civil matters, and you try to call them to get these police reports, and they do not want to fill out a police report about somebody showing up about visitation. It's true. It is very, very true. And he's absolutely right about that. Police in Louisiana, y'all went through a spell about 15 years ago? Y'all were hardcore. Y'all were harder than the police here in Atlanta. Y'all was some real police back then. Not that y'all are now. When I say real, I'm talking about, can I say corrupt? Is that bad? Y'all had a reputation, let's say. Of course, it wasn't everybody, but y'all were real out there. Y'all weren't letting anything slide. All right. Let's see here. But thank you for being an officer. Lord knows I do not have the balls to do that job at all. At all. ODB, thanks. I will donate once I get off work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does my expenses come into play with child support? Your expenses that are directly related to your child, yes. But usually not your personal expenses, not your car note or anything like that. But if you're paying health insurance, if you're paying a babysitter for your child, stuff like that, that will be taken into account. So the expenses that are related to your child. Christina,
Thank you very much.
your body is a great teacher. I will take it. I will take it. Thank you so much, Christina. MKC. So the man paying child support pays the mother, and this is what I'm talking about. Yes, there's so many things that are just not known. A man will have 50-50 custody of his child and still be paying child support, and they won't even use his child support to go to his children. He'll have to pay child support to the state because the mom is on cash aid or government aid. So he's paying for half of all his children's expenses when the children are with him. Half the time, he's paying for half. In addition, he gets money taken out of his check every month, and that money that's taken out of his check doesn't even go to the kids. It goes to the state. Ugh. That's how they do us. That is how they do us. Colin, good afternoon from Vegas, Las Vegas, man. I used to go there all the time for poker. Heard y'all are opening up now. Do you play poker? Do you go out there to the casinos? You guys were trying to open up on day one. Y'all had a mayor, governor out there in Las Vegas? Like the coronavirus was taking out everybody, and that lady was like, "We are open for business." She did not care at all. Ted, good afternoon from Nebraska. Okay, Nebraska's in the house. Way up there. Never been up to Nebraska. I heard it's cold. It's a good wholesome state. Josefina. Josefina in the house. Your advice is what real Planned Parenthood should be about. Planning a family with the future in mind. She is absolutely right. Josefina nailed it. Let's just plan this thing. It's like everybody's on autopilot. There's no planning. Who else we got? Kareem. How do I get this to work? 4 baby fathers and 7 kids. I'm the only one on child support. I'm the loser for even dealing with the loser. You know, when I read that first sentence, and you know I love you, Kareem, but when I read that first sentence, I said the second, not that you're a loser, but this is where men need to know. We have to step up. You're not a loser. You just weren't informed. You know, there are a lot of women, especially when you're younger and you're only thinking about one thing, and then you get trapped into something that explodes into a ton of other things. So you're not a loser, but I was definitely thinking like we all need more personal responsibility. But that's why people like you are so important, because you put stuff up here like this for younger men to see. That's why this is so important. Thank you. Thank you. Exactly right. Ted, I'm one of them. I didn't get a letter for the first one. Got this for the first one, second one, and I pay child support. Yeah. Ted, we had 2 men on the stream yesterday who both had child support debts, and they got their stimulus checks yesterday. So that's awesome. Miriam, I have domestic violence report against my child's father. Can the judge consider the DV report for supervised visits? By the way, my daughter is 13 months and the father has never met her. Yes. A judge can consider anything when it comes to children. And we'll definitely want to know if a father has been violent or has some type of mental instability issues. Absolutely. Even if the child were 13 years old, so 13 months old, when a child is definitely so tender, a judge wants to consider everything. So make sure you tell the judge about that, because we really need, all children need to be protected. So that's a great question. Great question, Miriam. Scott, unable to afford California. My unmarried stepdaughter left the state with her 2 kids. With her 2 kids. The father, no agreement now is. Wait, what? I must have missed something. This must be the second part. I can't understand what this one is. Unable to afford California. My unmarried stepdaughter left the state. I must have missed your other thing, Scott. Sorry about that. Al, child support and student loans are under Title IV. Google. If you're behind on student loans and child support, kiss government battles goodbye. Yeah. They're going to try to get you. They are really going to try to get you. They are not going to let men slide. Miguel, ¿qué onda? What's your question? Ask away. Manuel, how you doing? We have a super chat. I'm not skipping you, Miguel, but I just saw this super chat. The Young Prince 30. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
brother.
so much for the super chat, Young Prince. Really appreciate it. Love the channel. Thank you for the insight. I try, man. You guys don't know how hard this is for somebody that's old like me trying to figure out this stuff. But you're exactly right. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. Really appreciate it, Young Prince. Thank you. Miguel, I put an opiate claim 9 months ago, and I just received a message from opiate claim 9 months ago. Just received a message from the attorney I hired. Does this mean my settlement been done and they want to tell me the money about the settlement? If you have an attorney and they're working out a settlement for you, your number one thing is to call the attorney. I'm not sure what the attorney has worked out. I don't know anything about your case, Miguel, but that's good that your attorney's trying to contact you. So whenever you get a message from an attorney, one of the main complaints that attorneys have against them is that they don't return phone calls, that they're extremely hard to get in touch with. That might be the number one complaint against the number one complaint against the legal profession, against attorneys. So if your attorney is actually reaching out to you, hit them up tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. And good luck on that settlement. Good luck on that money. Good luck. It's too damn expensive. Okay. I gave permission to my attorney months ago and signed the disclosures. I did this month for a settlement. Good, Miguel. You got it in the works. You got it in the works. The Young Prince O'Shea sent me. Big old O'Shea. O'Shea Duke Jackson, guys. Y'all can check out his channel. Great channel. He has a lot of different types of content on there. A lot of entertainment content. A lot of intellectual content. A lot of content for particularly men to get ourselves together and to come up. He is one of the reasons why my channel is at 4,000 subscribers instead of 1,200. He did me a huge solid. He had me on his show and we talked a little bit. We talked for an hour about basically about family law, and it just really helped me out so much. I owe him a ton, son. So thank you, Young Prince, for coming over. MKC, I had one of my cases dismissed because the ex-new husband adopted 2 kids that turned out not to be mine. Now, 5 years after the adoption, they just stopped child support. Why can't I get my money back? Yeah, they don't do money backs. They do not do money backs. And this is another thing, guys, about getting money back after you overpaid 5 years. We have to stay on it. We have to stay on our money. Let me tell you something about women, and especially baby mamas. Let me tell you something about baby mamas. There is not one baby mama on earth, not one, that would have $600 coming out of her account every month for 5 years when it shouldn't have come out. That baby mama would have been on that thing immediately. There's not women that are going to let thousands and thousands of dollars come out of their account and then 5 years later gonna try to come back and get all the money for the 5 years. They're gonna stop it from the get-go. And for some reason, we men, we don't do that. We just let stuff slide for so long. I've seen men let things slide for 10 years and then they want to go back and get the child support. How do you pay a bill every month for 10 years? No baby mama would have done it. No woman would have done it. Women are on it, and we have to be on it. I can't see one woman that's going to pay a car note for 10 years and then realize that she shouldn't have been paying that car note and going to try to sue the car dealership for the 10 years. They're not going to do it. Women are on it, and we have to be on it too. It's a great question, but it's hard to get your money back, KZ, when you pay it. That's why we need to stay on top of it to make sure we don't make one extra payment in 5 years. It's going to be tough. You might be able to do it, but it's going to be tough. It's almost impossible. Dave Wright, if you paying child support and you find out the child is not yours, do you get money back when you go to court? This is different than the previous question, but the answer is kind of the same. Usually no. Usually absolutely not. I guess the best way to do it would be to request a DNA test immediately and don't pay any money until that DNA test comes back. Once that DNA test comes back, then you start paying your money. That way you didn't overpay. If you started paying when the child was born and you request a DNA test at 3 years old and it comes back that 3-year-old isn't your kid, you're not going to get those 3 years of child support back. You're not going to do it. A judge is going to say you should have requested that DNA test 3 years ago. A judge is going to say that it was your decision to risk it and to just hope. Now, that's not completely fair because sometimes it's very difficult to get a DNA test under certain circumstances, but it's so hard to get money back, guys. It's so hard. Christopher A., should I pay child support if my divorce isn't finalized and the amount hasn't been ordered? Yes. Yes. The amount, I guess if the amount hasn't been ordered, then it kind of depends on you. But two things. Number one, there's a general law really in all states that men need to financially support their child. And then two, it just looks better in the divorce, right? It looks better in front of the judge. You can say, hey, even though I wasn't ordered to pay, I paid something. I didn't know how much to pay, but I paid something. Well, I paid what I could, right? As opposed to paying nothing and showing up in front of the judge 6 months later. And the judge is like, well, how did you think your child was going to eat for the last 6 months? You haven't sent over $2 in 6 months. You sent over zero. Like, you spent money on yourself to eat for 6 months. Why didn't you give your child anything to eat for 6 months, right? Once the judge starts going down that road with you, it's hard to respond. They're hard answers. If you would have sent that lady, $200 a month or something even small, at least you can say that your kid ate. But to send nothing, the judge can start asking you some very pointed questions, and it's going to be difficult for you to come up with a good answer. That's a good question, though, Christopher. Miguel, what does it mean when I filed a lawsuit months ago and the attorney I hired months ago called? Does it mean that they have a settlement for me? No, not necessarily. It can mean that they don't have a settlement yet. It could just mean it can be an update. The attorney calls you and says, hey, well, we need more information from you, or we're just waiting on this, or we're just waiting on that. It does not mean necessarily that they've reached the settlement. It does not. Good question. Christopher, okay, in the A-Town. That's what I'm talking about. Bianca. In the stream yesterday. I love that name. Beautiful name. All right, Mr. Things. What if the baby's mother keeping the dad from seeing the baby and don't want to let the kid get anything from the dad, but she's trying to put him on child support? Yeah, this is very common. The way to avoid this is to file some type of legitimation, some type of petition for paternity to get into court, because it sounds like you don't have a visitation schedule. It sounds like you don't have any custody. So you need to go in there and get custody, go in there and get visitation. They're going to put you on child support either way. People will say, oh, well, I don't want to file a petition for paternity because the judge is going to put me on child support. And then the mom turns around and puts him on child support. Now he has to pay child support, but he never filed a petition for paternity. So number one, he didn't have a DNA test. He didn't even know if the child's his or not, but he's paying child support. And number two, even though he's paying child support, he doesn't have any visitation. It's bad, guys, when you're paying child support for a child that's not yours and you don't have visitation. So we need to be proactive, and we need to go ahead and file this petition for paternity, legitimation, whatever they call it in your state. Don't let people take advantage of you like this and just put you on child support and you don't know what's going on. So that's a great question. We need to get in there. We need to get our parenting time rights. We need to get our legal custody rights. We need to get our rights. Al, listen, guys, a lot of questions you guys are asking are contingent on your particular state. Think before you speak. I was right. Some of this stuff is contingent on your state. Is contingent on your state. Some of these laws are different. That's very true. And please, keep in mind that this is just legal information. I'm really not really trying to give you legal advice. I really just want you guys to know this information is so important. And I don't want you guys having to pay $3,000 to get it. If you guys got Some of you guys' questions are complex, but some are just so simple. You just need a straightforward answer. You just need straightforward information, and that's what I want to give you guys. That's what I want to give you guys. I would super chat, but I'm blocked. Well, I appreciate the thought anyway, Al. I really, really do. I really do. Team, mine as a credit. What are my chances of child support taking the second one if I claim it as a credit? Team, mine as a credit. What are my chances of child support taking my second one if I claim it as a credit? Okay, I see what you're saying. The chances are minimal. Usually the first one is terrible to get. It's almost impossible. And the third one is super sketchy. But the second one is not guaranteed, but you're in there usually for the second one. The second one has a lot of protections against garnishments and things like that the first one doesn't get. So you got a strong case for the second one. Of course, it's the second one that's 600, right? It's the second one that's less than 50% of the first and the third. The first and the third, they're all sketchy, but they'll let you get the second one. They'll throw you a bone. That's how they do us. Miguel, if I filed a lawsuit months ago and did everything the attorney told me to do, and he leaves a message months later to call him, what that mean is the settlement ready? Miguel, listen. I don't know what your attorney wants, man. This is like the fourth time you asked it. Your attorney called you, left you a message. He said, call me back. That's all I know. Doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to get a settlement. It does not mean it. It could be that the settlement's reached. But come on, Miguel, help me out, man. Help me out. I don't know what your attorney wants when he calls you. I don't know. I don't know who your attorney is. But it doesn't mean he necessarily has a settlement. The answer to your question is no. It doesn't mean that. It could though, but it doesn't necessarily. Cornelius, best way to pay child support when you have an LLC. Well, if you get if your LLC can get you some money, there are a lot of men who make a lot of money, and though they make a lot of money, they have to pay a little bit more in child support, sometimes a lot more, but they're happy, they can do it. If you're making $1 million and you have to pay, $8,000 a month in child support, even though $8,000 a month would crush the vast majority of men, if you're making $1 million a year, you take your $8,000, So if you get that LLC and you're making that money, that's true. Lead attorney. Okay, Miguel over there in Fayetteville, North Carolina, right up the street. Right up the street. My judge also refused to look at police force for my child's mother not showing up. Definitely should have looked at those police reports. If they were introduced properly, that's the thing. You got to know evidence law. You can't just show it with paperwork to court and then just give it to the judge and she'll necessarily take it. If she's nice, she will. But most states have a law. They have laws that govern the ways you need to introduce your evidence, right? And if you didn't know the way to introduce your evidence, the judge can say you didn't introduce it properly. I'm not going to consider it. It's true. That's how they'll do you for the custody exchanges. That's right. How does one go about proving parental alienation? It's difficult. It's very difficult. But, if you can, the best way usually to do this is with recordings. Now, you'll have to check the jurisdiction of your state, the laws in your jurisdiction. But in my state, for example, you can record anybody without letting them know as long as you are part of the conversation. So if you go to pick up your kid and the mom is there and you're recording it secretly and the mom's cursing at you and telling the kid that you're not worth anything and this and that, that's very strong proof. Any type of proof, any type of text messages, or text would be hard, but any type of recording, or if you have witnesses, if you go to pick up your kid or you're there in Walmart with your friend and you run into your ex and your child and your mom, the ex starts running off at the mouth in front of the witness can show up and testify, hey, I saw this woman say this and say that to this kid about the kid's dad, about my friend. So if you've got witnesses, if you've got recordings, those are strong evidence. Great question, Nicholas. Why is there no, I missed the no, MKC. Joey, 420, my man. Hey, man, I received the second check. Now will I receive the third check if I owe arrears with child support? Great. This is just what we were talking about. The second check is it's the strongest check for guys to get. Joey, we had 2 men on the stream yesterday. They both owe child support and they got their stimulus check yesterday. So child support is not taking them. Now, banks are taking them, creditors are taking them. I'm not sure if you've got any garnishments against you or what's going on with your bank account, but child support will not take your check. So you're good with child support. You're absolutely good. MKC, why is there no penalties for mothers who lie about the paternity of a right? Now, sometimes, honestly, even the mothers don't know. You know, if a mother slept with three guys and now she has a newborn, she don't even know. A lot of times she's just guessing. But yeah, there are a lot of times when mothers absolutely know and they don't care. They don't care. Okay, guys, we've been at it for an hour and 55 minutes. We'll go for 5 more minutes. Let me click down here though. Let me see if I got Jennifer.
Jesus Christ.
Jennifer in here with the super chat.
Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you, Jennifer. I really appreciate it. And thank you again for being a huge inspiration for the channel. Who else we got here? Oh man. We got Mark Barnes in the house.
Thank you very much, brother.
We got Mark Barnes. You guys don't know Mark. Mark's a long-time great subscriber to the channel. Great to see you, Mark. Great to see you. All right, let's go back up here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, let me show Jennifer's. Guys, please go check out her channel. She's like the best, one of the best YouTubers out here doing it. And really, to me, the number one YouTuber in terms of relationships, being even-handed and what men and women need to know about the opposite sex. That's a broad description, but you know, just go find out all the goodies that she has over there for you. I greatly appreciate her channel. I watch all of her content. All right, let's see what we got. Al, don't pay any attention to low viewership. Just trust me. I've seen it before. Your lane is wide open. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Al. Yeah, we're just doing it for whoever wants it. Whoever wants it. Ty Smith, what if non-custodial parent won't return 14-year-old that runs away and he is still paying child support? What if the non-custodial parent won't return 14-year-old that runs away? I don't understand that part. If the 14-year-old runs away, where is the child? Won't return. Does the non-custodial parent have the 14-year-old? And he's still paying child support. I don't understand this. But let me say, Ty, if you're supposed to have custody of your child and your child is supposed to be with you in your home and your child's not there in your home, then you should definitely let the court know about that. I'm not sure if it's the non-custodial parent's fault or if the child is with the non-custodial parent. I don't really understand the question. But you certainly don't want to have a kid roaming the streets. So I don't think that was a very good answer to your question. I'm sorry about that. I didn't understand the question too much. Vanessa, my child's father has an LLC and is lying, stating he only makes $20K a year. We broke up after our child was born. He stopped providing any support seeing her. The court has placed them on a low super order with no retroactive child support. How do I go about getting more support from him? When we were together, he made good money, but somehow he was able to lie post breakup. Now, see, guys, this is what I'm talking about also. You know, a lot of mothers kind of get screwed over too. A lot of mothers are unhappy with the child support system too. The child support system isn't perfect for any gender. It sounds like here there was a guy who was suppressing his income and the mother didn't know how to necessarily find the income to let the judge know how much he was really making. Guys, when you show up to court, the judge really isn't going to do its own investigation into any party's income. You're going to have to show up with all the proof. And sometimes it's very difficult for a person to prove how much another person makes when they have their own business. This is a tip. I hate when I represent mothers and I ask them what their husbands do and, oh, my husband has 3 businesses. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a headache. I'm not even going to be able to calculate it. What I usually do in those cases, I have to send the case out to a forensic accountant and give them all of the documents that we're going to get through discovery and let that accountant go through all of the paperwork to trace all the source of the funds and to tell me how much this guy's making. It can get so complicated. So if I can't do it, if I need an accountant to do it, and I've been practicing 20 years, there's no way that a regular civilian, there's no way that a regular person who's not an attorney is going to be able to do it. There's no way. And so when you don't have that information and you show up to court and the judge asks him how much does he make, and he says 20 grand a year, and you say that's not true, and the judge is going to say, okay, show me the paperwork showing that he makes more than 20 grand. If you don't have that paperwork, if you don't have that proof, if you don't have the accountant sitting in the back of the room who's ready to come up and get on the witness stand and testify that he makes 100 grand, you're not going to get a fair deal. You need to engage in discovery so that you insist on getting all of the bank statements, all of the tax forms, all of the corporate filing forms. You need to get everything you can. And if you show up to court empty-handed about the finances, you can get screwed. Getting screwed on child support can go either way, guys, either way. All right, credit alert verification report system, back child support, no FHA, VA, or USDA loans. Listen, Al's putting you guys on game. If you've got this, if you come up with the red flag on your report, you might get locked out of a lot of government benefits. That is very true. TJZ, how hard is it to get support adjusted? My job is seasonal, so for now I gross roughly 15K. But when it's low, I will either go on unemployment or gross 6K a month. How should I go about this? People file modifications all the time, TJZ. This is a very good question. I will tell you that last year, every single family law attorney was slammed, absolutely slammed with modifications. And the judges were giving them out, just giving them out. Who wants a modification? Who wants a modification? Because of what was going on, right? The pandemic. And so this is a good time to get one because judges will believe you if you're saying you're making less. So it shouldn't be that hard, especially if you go in there with your paperwork. If you go in there with your paperwork, you shouldn't have a problem. But a judge is going to have an incentive to keep your child support high to protect the child. So if you're making 15 a month, even 6, you've got enough money to hire an attorney. I know it's going to hurt a little bit, but if you're serious about getting the best result, you've got money to do it. Great question. Tompkin, my man, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too. 420, my man Joey. Hey man, I received the second check but didn't receive the first check. Will I receive the third check if I owe a arrears? Did I answer this already? I get confused, but yes, you should get, let me answer it this way. Child support will not intercept your third check. So if you only owe arrears with child support, you will get it. We had 2 guys yesterday who got their checks yesterday, even though they had a child support debt. All right. So let me just check to see another super chat, my man. TJZ. What's up with the super chat? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey. Thank you, D-Ray. D-Ray Rivers. D-Ray Rivers with the super chat. Thank you. Thank you for the valuable information. Thank you. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it. We've been going for about 2 hours. But I might try to do this more often. Maybe, once maybe a Saturday or a Sunday. Look out for it. If you guys think that it's positive, leave a comment if you think I should do these every weekend. Maybe I'll throw in a Wednesday or something. I'm not sure if these help out or not. I see not a lot of people watch them, but it doesn't matter if even 3 people watch them if I can help you guys out. So just let me know if you feel like if it's been a good help. I hope I answered your questions. I really tried. And if you've got some more questions, just leave them in the chat or leave them as a comment, and I'll try to answer those too, okay? So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Now, again, this is just information. Now, this is legal advice. I'm just trying to get you the information that you need so that you can make a great decision in your life, in your case. So I'm not your attorney. I'm the lead attorney, and I'm here to help you lawyer up. Y'all have a good evening.